Let's go. We're live. Post game. Huge win at MSG. Knicks Streets, we here. Assemble. Shout out to the chat, wherever you're at. Got my man EJ in the house. Peace, EJ. How we feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good. A wire-to-wire victory with our favorite team, the orange and the blue. I had to rock a little bit of the blue, the Columbia blue. Not exactly Knicks color, but it's a good night. Wire-to-wire win, even celebrating the 50th anniversary of the 72-73 Knicks. So really, really excited by tonight's win. How you feeling, my man, CT?
Feeling real good, man. Saturday night. The feeling is right. And we're going to have the one, the only J-Boogie up in the house. Talk about his new hit, Point Gods. We're listening to that track right now, hot off the press, blazing out here. And we're going to talk about this big win tonight, wire to wire. And Brunson, Randle, and Barrett, 20 points each plus, which is something we've been talking about. You know, these three kings work together and fleshing out their games. DJ Josh Hart, 5-0 as a New York Knick.
Yes, and as we speak, the man on the track is joining us pretty soon, J-Boogie. But it's a celebration tonight. Whatever you're doing, celebrate a magical Knicks win. Effortless, as one of our chatters said, easy work. So we're really excited tonight to be able to talk about an easy win, not just with our friend CT, but also the one and only J-Boogie.
Salute, salute. J-Boogie.
What's good, my guy? Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
How y'all gentlemen doing? We not live yet, are we?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live.
Live and direct.
Live.
My apologies to everybody. Blessings, health, and happiness to everybody. Shout out to these great men right there, always holding the situation down. Shout out to the most beautiful and most loyal, respectful people it is that belongs to the chat. And there is no other fan base like a New York Knicks fan base, man. Salute to everybody, man. Big time win for the squad, man. But before I go further, how y'all guys doing, man?
EJ?
Doing well, J-Boogie. It's my pleasure. I think it's my first time ever together on the program, but thank you so much for joining us. I'm doing incredibly well. It was an easy night tonight. It was easy work. So it's always a pleasure to see the Knicks putting in some work and making it nice and light and easy for us.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, big time win for the squad. A lot of, situation, big time historical celebration going on in the night from 1973, paying homage and honoring them guys for that great job they did in 5 games, beating the Lakers on and winning that championship and eliminating them on their home floor and beating them 4 games to 1. Yeah, them guys deserve a lot of homage, and we salute to them guys, appreciate them for everything they've done for the organization. We appreciate everything they're doing now for the organization. As you've seen, a lot of them was out there, and we send our condolences and blessings to the ones that raised above us in the heaven that was along with that situation, that team. Also, I want to send a special shout out to my high school coach, Ron Niclario, which he was a high school, which he was a ball boy for that team. They supposed to
Wow.
be doing something for him too. That's the most all-time winningest high school coach it is in the history of the game, Mr. Ron Niclario. Just go a little step further again, and I'm eliminate that real quick. Also in the year of 1958 on September 20th, Dr. Martin Luther King, he was up in Harlem and he was doing a book signing, and come to find out an Afro-American woman had stabbed him, And when they stabbed him, they immediately rushed him to the hospital. When he got there to the hospital, the doctor was able to pull the blade out. Also, there was known that if he would have sneezed or coughed, he would have probably lost his life right then and there. Big time story on TNT. He also took 2 kidneys out of him, to allow the great Dr. Martin Luther King to continue on moving on with his legacy for 10 more years, a life sharing with all of us, and we still carrying on his name. But that doctor name was Emil Niclario, which was also my high school's coach daddy. And great story by TNT, Great story for him to be, say the doctor, and keep him going, So I just, want to share that little bit real quick, so before we get on to the game and everything, man. But Man, big time win for the squad tonight. Big time season for the squad. You know, no point blank all year round. They've been giving us all of us something to talk about, cheer about, feel good about. You know what I'm saying? And we have our ups and downs, but the team could constantly fight for everything they're doing. You know, the last 60 games before the deadline and before halftime, that's over with. Trade deadline, that's over with. All-Star break, that's over with. We had 22 games. No, we got 20 games. Billy Sims, you know what I'm saying? Allen Houston, 20. Michael Ray Richardson, 20. And those that 20 be 2-0, you know what I'm saying? So that 20 stands up twice. 2-0 far as the record, and 20 more games left to go. And another loss by Miami tonight. Stay down there, keep the foot down on their neck. I don't know what Charlotte doing, but appreciate you playing with us. I like when you suit up with the New York Knicks and go against the grain like they doing right here. So Miami, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate doing what they doing. We don't care about you getting Kevin Love, you know. But my eyes is on the prize. My eyes is on the prize. I don't look for the fifth seed. I don't want the sixth seed. I want home court advantage. I want us to be opening up that first round series against whoever it is, but I want us to be hosting the Madison Square Garden, the series, our first round series against whoever it is. That means I want that fourth seed. I like to go a little bit more and further than what the normal is, because if we reach the norm, that's cool. But if we go further than that, that's even better, though. So I like to reach for the stars, man, because ain't nothing more shining than the stars. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we are, a star-spangled city, man.
Facts, J-Boogie. Spitting knowledge. Salute to the chat. Nick Streets, we out here with the GOAT. And my man EJ. And a big win, man. How often can we sit back and just chill and relax after a blowout victory back to back, man? Now we're hitting our corners, Now 7 games over 500, season high, man. Josh Hart, 5-0, undefeated as a New York Knick.
Talk about it.
EJ, what did you see tonight? And then pass it to J-Boog.
Listen, before I pass it to J-Boog, I just got to say, there are a lot of us who I'm a man who believes in character.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by believing in character is that when you say something wrong, if I say something wrong, a man of character steps up and apologizes and says, listen, I was wrong about this. A lot of us had questions. We had apprehension with regards to Leon Rose. We had apprehension with regards to Tom Thibodeau. A lot of us need to apologize because this run that they're on right now, this Josh Hart move, that's a Leon Rose move. We had questions. We had concerns with regards to Donovan Mitchell as to whether or not we should have made that trade. But right now, with where the Knicks are, with this kind of win, this kind of solid win, this was an embarrassment for New Orleans. Let's just keep it 100. But for us to really take care of business on the court at Madison Square Garden, to win 2 in a row coming off of the All-Star break, and then possibly stretching into 3. Now, I'm starting to get greedy. I'm starting to feel like J-Boogie. Things seem to be aligning correctly for this Knicks team to really be taken quite seriously, not just based upon tonight's win, but just seeming all the right pieces coming together. The fact that the Garden was screaming Derrick Rose's name, that level of excitement, Tom Thibodeau saying, all right, you know what? I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to put Derrick Rose in the game. There seems to be an attitude about this team right now, which every Knicks fan, if you were, I was wrong about Tom Thibodeau at times. I was wrong about Leon Rose. I'm really happy with where we're going right now, and I'm going to pass the rock just like Jalen Brunson to J-Boogie because this is a great night. So there's nothing to complain about. It's all celebrations.
Yeah, man, celebration, man. The team is playing good. They're hitting on all cylinders, you know what I'm saying? And when you feel good about yourself, you feel good about being somebody else's teammate. And when you're somebody else's teammate, that means I'm there for you, my brother, when you're down. When players on our squad, they get down, you're supposed to be lifting somebody else. But the thing about it is, Josh really ain't even found his spot where he needed to be at, but it's coming because we don't have a voice on this team. Somebody to get in somebody else's chest. Yo, turn up, dude. What's wrong with you? You're not playing right. You're not being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Josh is that type person that'll get in your face and tell you, yo, you need to turn up and stop, lollygagging. You holding us back, and that's what we needed, a voice. Somebody that's going to go all out, you know what I'm saying, outside of the check box. I don't need to score a basket, but you saw yesterday's game when the game was on the line. You know what I'm saying? I'm diving at the loose balls. I'm going all out, and you must do that. Good things that happen on the court. It rubs you off in the right way. Early in the game, you see Mitch. I'm just getting back. My hand is still messed up. I'm unsure. I can re-injure anything. I don't care about nothing. I'm diving on the floor too. I'm going all out. And so when you see your big man doing stuff like that, it's supposed to rub off you, but in the right way. And that's what it's done with Josh, man. Josh brings a whole nother different demeanor to us, you know what I'm saying? And that means the league, you got to reset again. When you got used to the Knicks, you know what I'm saying, with us without Mitch, you know what I'm saying? Now you got to reset. And now you got to reset playing against Josh. And now Mitch has come back. And outside of that, the team is on the same page. Everybody's doing what they got to do in there. Everybody feel good about now. The team is in a great space, man. You got to love and appreciate everything that the squad is doing. They're fighting for one another. They're having a good time. They feel good about coming to the game. And they feel pretty good, like, you know what I'm saying? Even when they take an L, they ready to go get back to that bulletin board. Let's figure out what we didn't do, you know what I'm saying? You saw that in the game against the LA Clippers. They knew they should have fouled Kawhi in that corner, and they didn't do it. But the next game, they was in that same situation. They fouled him, So certain situations happen, and the only time it can hold you back when you don't learn from it and move on with it. But the team is learning from all types of areas, and you see they locked in. They locked all the way in, man. And I love what's going on. I'm happy about being a fan of the New York Knicks. I'm happy when I talk with podcasters. I'm happy when I'm listening to podcasts. I'm just happy about what's going on right now. And the Knicks, in the words, fly words of Mr. Divine, the Knicks, this is where it's at, man. If you ain't with the Knicks, you ain't nowhere. You somewhere else out of bounds. The Knicks is where it's at right now, man. And come on down, hey, New Jersey Nets. Get on back over here. We ain't finished with you, neither. You're going to slide down, That's why I say that fourth spot could be in contentions, though. They lost Kevin Love. They got weaker.
Yep, facts, right? Forget KP, forget KD. We must see TV, baby.
That's right.
CT spitting.
I got trash days. I got the email. Don't make me sing something over there.
J-Boogie, this is you, because I do podcasts all the time with CT. He never spits with me. I love it. I love it.
That's my brother right there. I love that man right there. That's my brother. I don't name drop him in a couple of songs, you know what I'm saying? But that's my brother right there, and he knows for me, if it's anything I could ever do for him, I'm there 100%. And I know if it's anything I need for him to do for me, I know he's there for me 100%. That's the type of love that you got inside the Knick community. And that's further than a Spalding being bounced, or a Spalding being passed, or a Spalding being shot, or a Spalding being caught. You know what I'm saying? That means, just because we love and appreciate the Knicks, let's get to know one another. Let me know who I'm around. And CT, man, I gotta say that's a great man. In fact, y'all hit that like button. This is 2023. The like button ain't hit enough. Please hit that like button and pay some homage, respect, appreciate this man for everything he do, along with his man EJ. They lay it down to the fullest. They deserve their flowers, man, for real, for real. They need flowers are going accordingly for what they doing, man. This man right here, man, I love him, man. CT, he always keeps it buzzing worldwide. All you got to do is subscribe. And when the bell go off, come in the door. And when you come in the door, hit that like button. And you forget to hit it before you leave, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Share the content with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Pass it around. And if you miss an episode, it's okay to go back, and rewatch the episode. Leave a comment, man. But make sure, you tune in with this man CT, man, and this man EJ, man, because it's real great content. And that's what you want. Quality, man. Quality. And that's all he is about. Quality, man. I salute both of y'all, man. My hands go straight to the top of my forehead, man. To y'all legend guys.
Man.
That's a lot of love. That's a lot of love. Thank you so much, J-Boogie. Like that's honor and love, man. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
No doubt, man.
You know what it be? We're just trying to see history since 1973. J-Boogie, EJ, CT. And
you're putting pressure on the boy, because I haven't said nothing, so I'm not trying to drop bars tonight.
Man, what a night though, man! Like it could be perfect, celebrating 50th anniversary. Now And I love what J-Boogie said at the top of the show. You know, this ain't just about a playoff series. It ain't about fifth seed. It's about more than that. And we're making strides. You know, we're getting there. And yeah, man, we're the highest standings for the season so far. Blowout victory, but significantly tonight was RJ, Brunson, Randle, 20 points plus each. You know, fitting in. Do you think the All-Star break, gentlemen, you know, gave these gentlemen some time to just refresh and get ready for what's to come?
Yeah, exactly, man. I believe All-Star, All-Star gave guys, a real good look at the team. Like, yo, we really got, something here that we can do something special. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we winning a championship, but for me, we already won a championship because the culture is feeling good. The culture is looking good. The culture is playing good. You know what I'm saying? All the way from the top, all the way down to the last personnel that's involved, you know what I'm saying, inside the chat. That means we go from James Dolan to the last person in the chat that's just subscribed, you know what I'm saying? Things is going real good for the team, man. And they feel good about who they are as a, you know what I'm saying, a person and a player, man. And shout out to everything we're doing. Shout out to Julius Randle being over there All-Star. They say, you know what I'm saying, you ain't nice until you do it twice, but double the All-Star. I'm gonna come back from Utah. First game, I'm gonna drop 40 plus. Huh? And Julius Randle, we trust. I'm just, want to pay, CT back with a little freelance ball, you know what I'm saying? But man, everything we doing, man, Grimes is working hard. If Grimes learn how to, use his leg back on the offense as much as he's giving us on the defense, we're gonna double up what Grimes is doing. You gotta love what IQ is doing. He don't got stronger. IQ is playing all the way around game. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate what IQ was doing, And then you got Brunson. That's what I'm saying. That's our driver. Julius is the engine, and Brunson is the driver. And more importantly, Julius accepts Brunson. And when you accept somebody, that means I want to be with you. That means I want to be around with you. That means I believe in you. And that means I believe we can do something together. Julius right now is on a whole nother mission. People ain't like, yo, what are you doing shooting trades? Yo, I can't help because they picked me in for being in shooting trade because I knocked down a lot of trades. I know I missed some in this content, but I'm going to knock them down in the regular game. That's what matters to me, you know what I'm saying? Seeing that man out there with his family. I ain't seen no other players without their family, their kids out there. Julius is feeling good, man. And Sims is out there. I ain't supposed to be out here, but guess what? I'm out here, man. I wish the NBA All-Star game would go back to you wearing your own jerseys because that would have looked so much better seeing three of our jerseys out there, from Grimes to Sims to Julius twice. Julius in 3-point, then in the All-Star game, But I ain't got to come here and be like some of y'all guys and want to turn up and do this and that. That's not me. I'm going to see you, I'm saying, when I see you in a couple more games. And matter of fact, hey, yo, Mask Man, I got a date with you on the 27th Monday. Mask Man, that's Jaylen Brown, old school. Pardon me if I elbow you in your mask, but you should have been in that All-Star game. That should have been my man Brunson there. Real conversation.
That's a conversation for real. I mean, Julius said something last night that really demonstrated that whatever he was going through last season, we don't know what it was, but it seems to be really behind him. And to me, that's so important because that Julius that we had last year, that Julius that a lot of us were raising questions about, that Julius where we looked at him, we said, does he even really want to be here? That's the stuff that you don't see on the stat sheet. That's the stuff that you don't necessarily know. It's not, reporters can't necessarily ask about it. It may have been something personal. It may have been something weighing on his mind. And that's the stuff that even, we all have bad days. We all have jobs. Sometimes we have a horrible, fight at home. It could be a situation where someone is sick and we can't talk about it because we don't know what's going to happen. But we still have to go to work. We still have to punch in our clocks. The only difference is that no one's really watching many of us when we're at work. But the idea that whatever's happened seems to be behind him, there seems to be some sort of evolution that's happened. And his evolution has led to that camaraderie that J-Boogie was talking about earlier, where people really want to be around one another on this squad. And to me, that says a lot. The fact that Derrick Rose was smiling, given who he is historically, and now we're talking about like last 3 minutes of the game, people are shouting his name as if he's a rookie on the bench, and people are yelling his name, Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose. But he still seems to have that joy about him being now the 15th man, somewhere in the ranks of Trevor Keels and
Mhm.
Deuce McBride, but still wanting to be part of the squad, still not pushing to be released, still not pushing to cause any issues on the squad. To me, that's so important. So when we talk about the direction of this team, listen, I don't want to talk about the Brooklyn Nets, but talk about two different teams, two different trajectories. Who would have thought that the Knicks would be closer to a championship, closer to really contending than the Brooklyn Nets
Oh,
this time last year?
Wow. Wow. That says a whole lot, man. I'm gonna let CT jump on you with that one.
oh, yeah, that's the power shifted, man. The power
Yeah,
shifted, and it was a cup of coffee. This Brooklyn, New Jersey Nets thing. Won't be surprised if they relocate to Seattle, at some point, because this is a Knicks town. It'll always stay that way. The better we get, the stronger it gets, and this thing's worldwide, man. We're selling out arenas, we're selling out merch, and once this play on the court starts to get us that closer to that chip, it's a wrap. And what got you most excited about this team at the moment, gentlemen? Now with tonight's win and the bench with Josh Hart now 5-0 as a New York Knick, quickly taking that next leap. Got Grimes, Barrett bounce back tonight. What got you most excited about this team, J-Boogie?
The defense. Somebody was they brought it up, I think it was an earlier podcast or yesterday we was talking about it, and he was talking about how we was 27th. Now we're in eighth spot or something like that in the defense or something like that. I'm not a statistical guy. I don't do that. I just, I like to repeat what somebody say. Normally I remember the person that said it, but I can't.
Yeah,
But it's the defense because I think we got the most 100-point scoring games this year. We have no problem with putting the ball in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? But can you stop somebody? The most crucial is time. You know what I'm saying? And make sure they don't get a bucket, so you can continue on putting the pressure on them. I love the effort, the defense. As long as you playing defense, you're gonna continue to be on the floor for Tom. Tom is really stressing on defense. He's trying to get these guys in the playoff mode on defense, and they're following suit. And he got the type guys, are surrounded by his team. Grimes, he loved Grimes. Josh Hart was a perfect addition, and I'm glad to see Leon Rose and Tom was on the same page to go get something together. You know what I'm saying? That works for both of them. I ain't gonna say I went and got him, but yeah, I went to go get him because this is what fits what we're doing. You got to give Tom a lot of credit for what's happening on, because in the beginning when we was pretty much doing it the office way, that wasn't the right way. It wasn't happening. So what Tom say? Hey, yo, RJ, come here. I know that's your jersey, but let me get that 9 off you and put it on the bench because that's what I'm getting ready to do. A 9-man rotation from here on out. And everybody was like, whoa, what are we doing? No, what Tom was doing was making something fit, make something right. And anytime, you jump out there and do something like that and it works, you got to get a man, his props. You know what I'm saying? Even on some nights when you feel like he should have played such and such, no, he's still developing inside that 9, getting guys ready to go. So, yeah, man, Tom, man, you got to give Tom, give Tom his props. It's a lot of scenarios I can go about, talk about what makes me feel good about the Knicks. But more importantly, it's the Knicks that make me feel good every night. Man. It's the Knicks that keep me motivated, happy about the team I talk about. It's the Knicks when I see my friends. They don't want to say nothing about basketball no more because their squad ain't doing what they supposed to be doing, and I don't even give them the conversation, keep that thing not just like that. It's the Knicks that keep my penmanship rocking, you know what I'm saying, inside that booth, makes me continue on bringing out this content. And just to share with y'all, in not too long, maybe next couple of days, 1973 is on its way out, you know what I'm saying? And I got a new Julius Randle song getting ready to come out too, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm feeling good, man. The squad feeling good. And everything I do, I like to share with y'all, So, yeah, I'm real happy about what's going on with the squad. When you talked about Derrick Rose, man, Derrick Rose is a legend. And ain't but two guys I know. See, everybody is not going to win a championship. Everybody's not going to be in position to win a championship. But it's two guys that stick out to me more than anything about not having a championship. The one is Vince Carter. Off top, Vince Carter did not go run around chasing after different teams to go get on people's teams to go win a championship. Vince Carter let you know I was good with who I am and the legacy I laid inside the NBA. You gotta love and appreciate me for that. I don't have a ring and I'm not running after a ring, but appreciate, love me for everything I did. And that's the same thing was happening with Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying? If Derrick Rose could have been traded, we could have traded Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose didn't want no trade. So then after the trade deadline, they double checked back with Derrick Rose. Derrick, do you want to go somewhere else? Derrick didn't want to be waived, you know what I'm saying? So he can go pick and choose. And even though we know the Phoenix Suns, they wanted him real bad. Even though we know the LA Clippers, they wanted him real bad. But Derrick Rose said, nah, I'm like Caesar, you know what I'm saying? But this is not no Planet of the Apes move. But I'm home right here. I feel good about being who I am and being right here. And I'm one of them guys, if I get a championship, it's going to happen because I was already at the right place. But I ain't running around chasing that like some of these dudes running around and get everything passed off to them like they wanted, you know what I'm saying? Babysitting and everything. So you gotta love and appreciate Derrick Rose for who he is, man. And I just love the whole squad, man.
Cool.
That's it. That's it. That's it,
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
EJ.
Yeah.
How do you follow that up?
You just say thank you and keep on moving. But no, seriously, like one of the things I noticed last night, in conjunction with tonight, is Knicks fans are traveling, and Knicks fans are showing up to games to express their excitement over this team right now. So last night in Washington, and I know it's an easy trip for a lot of New Yorkers, but it seemed to be a lot of Knicks fans at the Chase Center, and they were louder, much louder than the Washington fans. And I'm thinking that this is something we might see for the rest of the season, where, especially on the East Coast, where you have lots of New Yorkers and lots of transplant New Yorkers up and down from Boston all the way down to Miami and Orlando. The fact that this season is playing out the way that it is, I would not be surprised in many of those arenas, especially those arenas where you're seeing teams who are supposed to perform not performing as well. Knicks fans start to take those seats, and almost every arena, particularly on the East Coast, starts to sound like mini Madison Square Gardens. And that, to me, it harkens back to the 90s. I didn't get a chance to see the 70s, but I do remember my favorite Knick all time is Patrick Ewing. I definitely remember those 1990 Knicks and what it sounded like, what it felt like when Ewing hit that finger roll. And I also remember what it felt like when he missed it. But that putback slam against Indiana, there's something about that feeling when Knicks fans are excited and when they feel there's a potential for something growing. And the other thing that makes me excited right now is that aside from Brooklyn, there are other teams whose bottom seems to be falling out right around the same time, which means that the Knicks are hitting their stride at the right time. So when we first started the season, we thought that maybe Miami still had an outside shot. Maybe Toronto might play better. CT was one of the few people who said, no, it's not going to happen this year. But Toronto playing the way it is, Charlotte playing the way that it is, Chicago with its record, Atlanta imploding. The Knicks are growing and hitting their stride at the right time, meaning that not just for this season, but for next season. I'm excited. I'm already excited about next season, and this season's not already done.
Cool.
Because those other teams are going to have a hard time reconfiguring their rosters to be competitive. So for me, it's not just about what do I feel right now. Maybe we're at the beginnings of what it felt like during the 90s, where every season we were competitive. And that, to me, is something that's really great. It feels good to know I can listen to a game or watch a game and know that the Knicks are going to be in it and relive those experiences with some of those players that we saw tonight, whether it's the John Starks or Latrell Sprewell or Marcus Camby, and have those good feelings again at the Garden and it be consistent. So that's what really makes me happy right now with the Knicks.
Yeah, gentlemen, man, you hit, chat on fire. And I think the Knicks are hitting that identity that we've been looking for. 90s defense, toughness. Josh Hart completes that. We need an identity from this coach. We're grinding it out, but we're also improving fast break points. Tonight we had 13 fast break points, playing faster, getting up and down. Man, We're winning points in the paint most nights, rebounding. Mitchell Robinson, welcome back. His first 2 games back, man, has been insane. Hasn't missed a beat. J-Boogie.
Yeah, man, he hasn't missed a beat. When I was in Atlanta, at the Atlanta game last time we played Atlanta, I was in the tunnel and I talked to Mitch and I'm like, yo, Mitch, yo, let me know, man. Tell me, man. I don't want to hear from nobody else. I don't do rumors, none of that. I like actual fact. When you coming back, big fella, monster. I call him monster, you know. When you coming back? And he said, yo, Boogie, I'll be back the 24th. I said, the 24th for real? He said, yeah. I said, man, I need you back that day. You know why? Because that's my mom's birthday. My mom's been resting in heaven. Yesterday was my mom's first birthday that I had to spend without her. So when he told me he was coming back on the 24th, I felt special, you know what I'm saying? And then he showed up and gave me everything that he, you know what I'm saying, what he had, man. So the next time I see Mitch, I gotta tell him, I appreciate you coming back on that day. And you did your thing, man. But Mitch is getting ready, turn us up, man, in a whole different area. It gives us a second player in the starting lineup that can switch and also recover. Grimes is the only one since Mitch been gone in the starting line that can switch on the perimeter and also recover. Now you got a big man that got 9 people in front of him. He can play off everybody. He can switch to anything that needs to be switched on a pick, and play a guard. And he can also get back and recover. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then he might be a second late for the block or a second late get a foul, but that's just him getting back into game time conditioning, game time shape, and he looks good, but ain't nothing like, being on that floor running, whatever exercises he did, while he was injured, he did good. But when you chasing that basketball, all the way around that court, that's a different type of, cardio that you must be in shape for. And Mitch is looking good and he's playing hard. And one thing about Mitch, when he got it down low, he's dunking that. That's a finished basket. That's the difference between him and Hartenstein. Hartenstein might play with it a little bit. Mitch is not playing with it. I'm trying to put this ball in this rim and with you along with it. And, man, you got to love. We getting right at the right time, man. We hitting our peak and our mark right now. Everybody's getting back, coming back healthy. RJ has 2 games back to back, you know what I'm saying? If he comes along and gets inside his, what he's supposed to be doing, you know what I'm saying, for the team, not for your individual self, RJ, for the team, then we can go further, We want you to just do the small things like you was doing, cutting, diving, loose balls, getting rebound, playing defense, being talkable, you know what I'm saying? Feeling good about you being out there, That's all RJ has to do, you know what I'm saying? And everything else will work itself out, you know what I'm saying? We got to help RJ get up out of his funk because we're not trading him, you know what I'm saying? At least I don't know anything, right? I know right now he's with us. And as long as you're going to be with us, we got to help him help the team get forward, And RJ, you're going to have to turn your game up and do what you got to do, man. But, man, right now, man, it's real beautiful, man, how we playing. We above 500. Coming from the beginning of the season, oh, man, the schedule is this. We playing this and that, man. We all that, man. So what? We put our uniforms on like they put their uniforms on. And when you listen to them now, when we play team, guess what the announcers be saying? When you don't listen to Marv, when you don't listen to Clyde and Marv and all them talking about the Knicks, you listen to the other team, they be like, yo, here come the Knicks. Guess what? Julius 2-time All-Star. And they might have the best signing, Jalen Brunson. The team playing together and they playing hard defense. Ain't no more cakewalk games against the Knicks. You have to beat the Knicks. They're learning how not to blow games anymore. They're learning how to finish games. You have to beat the New York Knicks right now. We're not giving you anything. It's a battle. It's a fight, and we coming. All our guys are trained to go the distance. They can go 40 minutes because they're built like that from our coach. So we can extend the stamina. That's why we jumped out of Washington coming off the road, come straight in our building. Some of them probably slept like 3 hours and right back up. Tom calling, yo, practice time. Let's get in here. We got to go film footage. We got everybody here, celebration tonight. Got to be ready. And guys is on board. They following suit, man. They following suit. And I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, facts, man. And I got a question, a super chat, Luke C. Appreciate you, man. The chat, Nick Street's buzzing right now. EJ, J-Boogie, CT, the place to be. And question for you both and chat, Luke. says, what is more likely, the fourth seed or a 50-piece? I'm liking that 50-piece option because I think teams are going to start to go south for Vic
Yeah.
and Scoot.
Yeah. I think the team to watch really is Cleveland. I think the Nets have already demonstrated what they're going to be. I think the Nets will. I mean, that game last night with the Nets. I mean, obviously, many teams have that kind of night nowadays in the NBA where they kind of don't show up. We saw that with New Orleans tonight. New Orleans. I texted CT by the second quarter and I said, New Orleans is not interested in this game. I don't know what club they went to last night. I don't know where they were, but they were somewhere where they were like wherever they were last night. Even though their bodies were at Madison Square Gardens, the rest of them was still wherever they were last night because they were. Brandon Ingram, who I love as a player, totally embarrassed me in how many times I talked about him on this podcast because he didn't show up. CJ McCollum, CJ was MIA. I don't know where he was, but the team that we really have to watch is Cleveland, and Cleveland has been on somewhat of a slide recently. I think that's the question in terms of being able to hit the fourth seed. Is a 50-piece possible? Definitely, because we know about the NBA, especially this NBA, not the one I grew up with, is that teams start to shut it down with about 15 games left in the season, and they start to jockey in position for more ping pong balls to at this opportunity for Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson. So it is, and Mark Berman said this the other day. Tom Thibodeau, as we saw tonight with Julius on the court, I think Julius finally left the court with 5 minutes left or something like that. Tom is going to go for every win he can possibly go for. So which do I think is more likely? I think 50 is more likely, but can you even get the fourth seed without winning 50 games? I think they're one and the same. So, J-Boogie, what do you think?
50 sounds good. That's my man JD, Sports Talk, Nick Fan TV, 50 Burger. That would sound good. And I can just hear him now talking, going off, man. I finally got the 50 Burger off the grill. I can just hear him now. But me personally, man, if I can get to that 4th seed and I got 48 wins, I'm happy with that. That tells me a whole lot. Nah, we didn't have Donovan. Y'all had him. But guess what? We went in the series with y'all, right now. I think 2-1 right now. We got another game with them coming up. But if we can win that 4th seed, y'all got Donovan and then we don't, you know what that's going to do to the team? You know how they're going to feel like, oh, man, we better than them and they got them? Man, we didn't really need them. Yeah, we could have used them, but y'all got them and we better than y'all? Come on, stop playing with me. I like that. I love that 4th seed right now, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe even if we play Cleveland and we in the first round, we the 5th seed, I think we knocking Cleveland off. That's just how I feel. I feel with Miami, we don't got a problem with Miami. We beat Miami without Brunson. We beat Miami without Mitch. You know what I'm saying? We beat Miami without Josh. We beat Miami, you know what I'm saying, with a team that was just coming up and finding their identity. So now when you add them other 3 things, I don't think Miami wants no parts of that right there. I'm not scared of Philly. I'm not scared of Boston. I'm shaped by Milwaukee. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Well, anybody else, I don't care about. But if I can get that 4th seed, I'd rather have that 4th seed and win 48 games. But 50 wins, that'll say a whole lot. A lot, you know what I'm saying? A lot of 50s going on. 50 Cent, 50. You know what I'm saying? The 50 years of hip hop just celebrated. 50 years since 1973 celebrated. And if the Knicks win 50 everywhere, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, that would look good, But give me that 4th seed, man. Give me that us hosting home court advantage in the first round, That's what I would love to see more than anything.
And a 50 in the chat. It's 50s all around.
That's right.
And yeah, nice one, man.
The like button. Hit that like. I can't see the like buttons. I don't know where we at, but press them like buttons, man. We rocking tonight. We in the city.
That's
I'm
right.
in town. I'm live with y'all. Hit the like buttons, please.
Yep. That mean a lot. And we got Point Gods. J-Boog, talk to us about what's coming up. Music. What can we look forward to, man? Because you are an inspiration to Knicks Nation.
Right. Yeah, I just finished wrapping up 1973. All I gotta do is go lay that down, but I'm really in a good space as far as with my music. Um, I've been trying to reach out to this guy, what's his name, Randolph and everything, Robert Randolph, whatever the guy that got Friday Night Mix, but he's not responding. He act like he wants no parts, so he's more corporate. But I feel like, if we can do something together, that's gonna help me over there in the area where you at, and I'm gonna help you over here in the underground where you'll feel appreciated and loved about, So you can't keep telling me how much you're a Julius Randle fan, I dropped the MIP on Julius, but he act like he don't want to do nothing, you know what I'm saying? He gonna make me call him out, and you know what I'm saying, with a verses, because I know ain't nobody standing up under that pressure with a verses. I got the things lined up ready to come any given time. I can lay them down, you know what I'm saying? So I got another one called Feet Out the Sand. We was in the sand, at one time, when we got our feet out the sand, man. We got some things going on, man. But yeah, I'm in a good space musically, man. I'm happy, man. And when I drop the mixtape Run, my he might come back and resurface what I was trying to do. Ghost, I had permission to use the song, but he might come back and resurface because that's what we constantly keep doing. We keep going on a run. And that's why I did that song, Run, because that's what we keep doing. No matter how many games we win, we on a run. Whether we at the crib on the road, this an and one. You know what I'm saying? CT, I'm CT with the buzz. That means the Knicks buzzing. Yeah, we on another run. This is 5 straight. 3 before the break, 2 after the break. That's 5 straight, man. That's another 50. 5-0.
Uh,
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I love it. J-Boogie, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to know J-Boogie. Who's your favorite all-time Nick?
My favorite all-time Nick.
Yeah.
My favorite all-time Nick is
Or you can even do your Mount Rushmore if you want to do a top four or a top five.
my favorite all-time Nick is Pat Ewing, the captain. That's my favorite all-time. Now, who I love to watch in that Nick uniform, they went neck to neck. That was Bernard and Melo. Those two guys right there. And then uh I could turn my tempo up. I could go I could go Michael Ray Richardson at the point, and I could go in a prime time Allen Houston, Melo, Bernard King, and Pat Ewing. You know, that's just for something in this era, right here, right now. Just saying because they play that softball. But man, I gotta go with the captain, man, because no matter what, Patrick Ewing, every time he came out there on that floor, he played hard. I don't care nothing about the missed layup. He should have did this. Patrick Ewing played hard every time on the floor. And we waited too late inside his career really to like put things around him like it should have been around him. Um, One of the things I would have had loved to see was him and Mark Jackson stay together. You know, I would have loved to see that tandem. Pat one year and Kevin Mark. You know what I'm saying? You got Pat Ewing, the anchor of the squad, and you got a hometown kid in Mark. I would have loved to see that tandem stay together. I think they could have done something, but um, I didn't catch Clyde nor them. I'm a late '68 baby. I'm a '68 baby. That's when I was born. So when they won, I was just getting introduced inside my crib the Nerf basketball set. So far as knowing who they was, I'm um I'm not of the era of celebrating the Clyde championship, but I make sure I, understand who he was and the rest of them players during that time and what it means so much right now, far as our legacy and what they did. But yeah, man, Pat Ewing, that's my guy, all the way 100. Pat Ewing.
Definitely, definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
it was great to see him on the Garden Vision tonight.
Yeah.
Pay props to that team, man. But talk about what it means to be a New York Knick.
Mhm.
Yeah, it don't get more significant than the captain Pat. Growing up as a kid, man, yeah, he did it for me. But I gotta give love to Starks because he also laid it all out there, and
Mm-hmm.
also H2O. Um, that '99 run, I was like graduating high school,
Mm-hmm.
and that team was special, man. Against all odds, it was it was just insane. H2O, Spree, that win against Miami, that was special, man. In enemy territory, we were
Right.
doing it. Yeah,
And shout out to Rick. Rick was on that 99.
Yeah, he was.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
he
Rick.
was.
And we and
yeah,
um Rick is not Rick deserves some love for what he's doing this season. Rick is bringing some things to the table, for the New York Knicks. At one point, I was wondering how was he going to separate with him being a dad on, what I'm saying, on the court, compared to him being assistant coach on the court. And you see Rick, like I know Rick has a lot to do with what IQ game is developing. I seen Rick call guys, to the side and talk to them one on one about things that he see that he's trying to correct them on the floor. So when they go back out there, and the love and conversation, and I don't see it up front, the love and conversation that guys, get, and when they talking and listening to Rick is really appreciated, and you can see them tune in, listening to him, and like, all right, yeah, thanks, coach, and smiling when they leave away. I got it, coach, and all that, and that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Rick Brunson, man. From him being on that '99 team, what I'm saying, and him being, a great assistant. Because in some people's eyes, they like, okay, Rick is only here because he brought Jalen here. No, he ain't here because he brought Jalen here. Jalen wanted his own squad. Jalen wanted to go somewhere and do something different. And what was a better place for a team that didn't have a point guard in so many years? And now I could come and play here, and my dad is here, and I ain't scared of the city. Stop playing with me. You gotta love Brunson, man. He took the city on head on. That jersey can be like a vest. It can get real heavy on. But Jalen does not fear playing in New York, man. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for him coming to New York City, man. And it's only going to get better because they're going to build around him. And the more they build around him, the more of his point total going to go down, and the more of his assist total going to go up. You know what I'm saying? And it's starting with him and Julius, man. Ain't no telling how far them two left-handed guys can go, man. They're giving us
yeah.
a great season, especially if that other guy come back around, because it was one time early in the season that we was the lead three-headed monster tandem until Dame started going crazy, and Portland, Simon, and Grant, they took over that, as the top, three guys, you know what I'm saying, and
Mm.
on the team in the league. But hey, we are what we are. We ready for any and everybody, night in, night out. And that's what you gotta love.
Yeah, no one want to see us, man.
No.
And to answer the question earlier about what I'm most excited about with this team,
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be the depth now. I like this
Definitely.
rotation now, man. And I want to give some love to iHeart because
Mm-hmm.
19 minutes tonight, man. 10 rebounds, 5 offensive, 5 defensive. He's brought it
Mm-hmm.
since getting out of that slump. To have him and Mitch back, talk about our defense, and then back to that rotation with Hart quickly off the bench, man. It's a wrap. Like our bench can take over games now when Jalen, when Randle sit, EJ.
Yeah, and the broadcast they made a point of noting that there isn't, as Jay Boogie alluded to, there isn't a break for the opposing squad when the second unit starts trickling in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping that RJ embraces more time with that second unit because you're playing against the second best five players on the opposing squad. And so you're supposed to use it as an opportunity to bully them and to extend leads, to make them more tired, to break them mentally. Like what happened tonight is you could see New Orleans just give up. Mentally, they gave up. You saw it. You saw it in their effort. You know, Jose Alvarado, who tends to be so pesky, you could see that, you know, he tried that first quarter, but then his defense started sagging off by the time you reached the end of the second quarter. And by the time we reached the second half, the game was effectively over. And that's part of like that's what I love about sports. It's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. And what I would want from this team in terms of having so much depth is that they are persistent. They are going to push the tempo. They are going to push it so that they are steamrolling teams. What I want to see in terms of the evolution of this team is that they start to steamroll teams and beat teams that they should beat, that they should beat handily, where we can start to see more rest for our starting players, where there are nights where it's a laugher, where there's no concern, where there's no need to put the starting unit in, and they're only leaving the floor with 1 minute left. So I'm excited about the depth. I'm excited about the fact that Josh Hart is one of these players who can play multiple positions and play against multiple like 1 through 4, sometimes 1 through 5. The ways he was switching in terms of defense tonight, that to me makes me very excited. The fact that we have Mitch back and iHeart, you know, that rebounding aggression that he's had recently is translated back into that second unit. I'm really equally as excited as UCT with regards to the second unit. And there was a point that I was going to say before, back to J-Boogie's point with regards to Jalen Brunson. Did you notice who they chose to speak before this night?
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brunson. That says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot.
It says a lot.
The fact that you're going to choose Jalen Brunson to represent a night celebrating the organization and its history, that's a big indication as to what they feel about Jalen Brunson and his future on this team.
Right, exactly. And just to go a little step further, what's even bigger than Brunson, you know, being put in that position is Julius accepting that. This is not like when Kimber came over here and knowing that I'm just coming off a most improved player, all-star player, and you're going to get this guy the city to state jersey over me, you know what I'm saying? And I know he's some trash. I'm not going to get in my funk. I learned that from the last situation. I'm
Yeah.
okay with what's going on, you know. So that just shows the growth of Julius, and he said it. He said it last night. You know what I'm saying? What has got you into being what you in? And you heard what Julius said. Number one, I'm a father, my son, my wife, I'm a husband, my teammates. That's how Julius is carrying it. And that all started back at the beginning of before the season even started in summer, when Julius went to start playing his summer leagues. Guess what, New York? I know the situation that happened, but I'm here to face the music, play your song, boo me, say whatever you want to say. I'm in this gym, free wrecking. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say, but I'm in the building to let y'all know I made a mistake, but I'm here to turn up. If I can face it and, you know what I'm saying, give me a chance to correct it and change it. And that's what's happened, you know what I mean? Julius just stood up. And I love, you know what I'm saying, Jalen, he handling doing what he do, being the spokesperson. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? As long as everybody on the same page, you know what I'm saying? Everything can always work out because somebody's got to always take the back seat and let somebody else drive, you know what I'm saying? And somebody else can, you know what I'm saying, got to be, you know what I'm saying, wait for them two guys to come and pick them up. And then you got, you know, three guys in the car. And that's what we got. Jalen, you know what I'm saying, he driving. Julius is over there talking to, and they picking up RJ, and everybody else is following suit, man. You know what I mean? So I'm happy about it, man. Way to go, man. That was a great. I knew for a fact when they first mentioned that Jalen Brunson was the target. Man, I was jumping for joy. I knew what it was going. I knew he was going to do what he was doing, and the reason why I know that because I know the deodorant that armpit he was up under, and that armpit he was up under was Jason Kidd. I saw what Jason did to Giannis. I saw what Jason did to Chris Middleton. I seen him go to Dallas, and I saw what he did to Luca with that big year he had, and I seen what he did along with Brunson. So getting that knowledge and that understanding up under that guy right there, and then taking it with him and coming here, I knew what we was going to have. He can already handle the ball. He already got hard. Let's not talk about the other things. I'm too small. Let's not talk about the things, you know what I'm saying, that I don't play no D. Well, I'm top two and taking charges, you know what I'm saying? I can get my shot off on anybody. I'm not scared. You're not gonna punk me, you know what I'm saying? And I can play in the big moments. Just ask Donovan Mitchell. He don't want to see him. Just ask CP3. He remember him. Eliminated both of them. So we got somebody that can play in big moments, you know what I'm saying? So when the playoffs come, I know what type of guy we got, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to only make Julius better. It's only going to make the team better. It's only going to make, you know what I'm saying, everything come occur, everything happening right. The one that got the biggest problem, you know what I'm saying, and I'm going to give him his props, is Tom. Tom got the biggest problem. He got to figure out, you know, all these guys, the egos, who need to play, who don't need to play. Should I pull you and keep you out and put this guy in? Am I right making the right decision? RJ sitting and Josh starting. How people think about Tom don't care about what the fans thinking about. I think about what I'm doing on that floor that's gonna help us win games. You know, that's more important than anything. And I'm okay with what he's doing, you know, because we winning. We winning. If we not winning, then you know what it is. But every decision that he's choosing, that he's making, is leading towards chemistry, is leading towards development, is leading towards togetherness, and it's leading towards, you know what I'm saying, us winning games. And that's what matters the most, man. Winning these games. I don't care who it is. If you 5-15 or if you 15-5, I don't care. This is not college basketball. I don't get in the NCAA tournament on the strength of wins. I get into the playoffs on who I beat. And whoever's in front of me that night, we looking to beat you. I don't care if it's Washington. I don't care if it's Philly. I don't care if it's New Orleans. I don't care who it. We trying to beat you. And you said it right. New Orleans, they ain't want to fight. They look like the New Orleans Superdome with Roberto Duran with seeing Sugar Ray. No Moss, man. I don't want no Moss. Let me get to the bitch. Let me sit over here next to Zion. He got a big yellow turtleneck on. Hey,
Yeah, man, facts. Let's. I want to give some props to Johnny Bryant too, man. Development.
Yeah.
How much do you think Johnny Bryant could be helping develop IQ's game this season? Helping out the youngsters, man. He's a big part of this thing too. He had a talk with Julius in the summer, went all the way to Dallas, showed him some love, EJ, Boogie, chat, and Johnny Bryant's value to this thing, man. Give that man some respect.
yes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think one of the things we may have underrated is that the person with the most experience at the start of this administration was Tom Thibodeau. Almost everyone else, they were relatively new in their position. So whether it was Leon Rose, whether it was Julius Randle being the lead person, RJ was relatively new. So we have to take into consideration that Worldwide West, the position that he occupies in the front office, Brock Aller, working in New York City, many of these people we have to take for, we kind of took for granted that it does take time to mature into your positions. It takes time to gel into your particular roles. And maybe what we're seeing is that every level of the organization is beginning to figure it out. Tom is starting to figure out his roster. Julius is kind of figuring out, okay, this is my talent set. I'm strong here, but maybe I'm not strong here. So yes, I'll accept Jalen Brunson being the vocal leader of the team. I'll be okay with him being my running partner. RJ's still in the midst of trying to figure that out. Tom is figuring out, the roster and figuring out rotations. But the front office, maybe they're just now figuring out this is what the team is and this is what the team needs. And with that allows your assistant coaches, that allows your coaches to coach the players to what they need to be for that particular team and roster. So I think maybe we didn't give them enough time, enough grace to say, okay, everyone is learning, because we want things done in a New York minute, not just in a minute, but a New York minute, which is like 20 seconds. But maybe finally the team is congealing. Maybe it's like really organizing itself from top to bottom. And the last thing I'll say about this, he's constantly been in the news, whether it's been, Spike Spike Lee or Charles Oakley, the fact that Jim Dolan has given um, the organization time to do what it needs to do. It's not often we give him props, but thank you so much, James Dolan. I hope you're watching. If you are watching, smash that like and subscribe, please. Um, but if you're watching, thank you for staying away. And thank you for letting the organization figure out what it needed to do, who it needed to hire, who it needed to trade, who it needed to. Thank you for just giving it space. Because we know if this were James Dolan 15 years ago, he would have traded someone and we would have gotten Andrea Bargnani part two or part three at this point. So I'm just thankful that the organization seems to be figuring it out and giving room for Johnny Bryant to do his job, giving room for Rick Brunson to do his job and to coach up these younger players. And these are young players. That's the other piece we almost always forget is that many of these players who are doing it are young. RJ is young. Mitch is young. Emmanuel Quickly is young. Q Dot is young. These are really young players who have room for growth. Jalen Brunson, even though he's only been part of our team for less than a year, he's young. So they have not hit the ceiling of their development yet. They haven't hit the ceiling of their growth yet. There's still room for more growth. And that should be scary to the rest of the Eastern Conference.
That's right, exactly. Because sooner or later, all them older guys, they're gonna fall off. Sooner or later, they're not gonna be able to do it no more. Sooner or later, they're not gonna be able to continue on keeping up with these young thoroughbreds. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the thing about our squad, I would take heart and talent any day of the week over talent and athleticism. If you can show me you know how to play this game and think this game, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna choose you over anything else. Because sometimes your talent and athleticism, it don't get you there in key moments of the game. It's good to have those things, but I'd rather have somebody that know how to think and know how to make the right play when the game is on the line. And that's the type, growing that we're doing, amongst the Knicks. Guys who not only can play the game, but know how to play the game. See, that's what separated, Larry Bird so much. You know what I'm saying? I'm unathletic. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as gifted and talented as anybody else. But when it comes to smarts and thinking, this game, I'm at the top of the list, point blank. There's nobody else that probably can outthink that basketball game on the court than Larry Bird when he was in his healthy prime. You know what I'm saying? And Magic Johnson even gave him those props. And those are the type ball players that you like to have surrounded around you because they're gonna give you their all. Every day, night in, night out. And when they do something wrong, and you telling them what you did wrong, they don't have a problem with vacuum cleaning what you saying. You know what I'm saying, and letting that bag fill up. So I can understand how to release the rest of this dirt. You know what I'm saying, while I'm on the court. I just love that. Appreciate it, man. Somebody that could be there night in, night out. I know for a fact we got more than two. We got more than two. I know for a fact Julius is there every game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't appreciate that or realize that. Julius,
Facts.
I'm here every night. I'm here every game. I play any minute, every minute if I have to. No games off, no days off, no plays off, no practice off. I'm not like the other guys that gotta have management. Unmanage me and let me play. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Nuggets went in the game with 7 minutes left in the game and didn't come out to exactly 3 minutes. I think was up under 3 minutes and 47 seconds. And that's because he got fouled. He had to shoot the free throw. But you seen him over the bench. He was rubbing his knee. He had just knocked knees with somebody. He rubbing his knee. Yeah, we know he shouldn't be out there on the court. He shouldn't even win in the game. 7 minutes and we up 24 points. I'm not putting nobody in unless it's emergency. That's the only thing that, I'll go to battle with Tom. But Tom is trying to get everybody prepared and ready. Like, yo, dude, it's going to come a chance where you might not even come out the game. I need to make sure you in shape. You ready to do that. Julius is one of them guys. Hartstein, he's another guy that I by any means I'm on the floor, whatever it is. And what I like about Hardenstein, he held us down in the center. I think we went 8-6 while Mitch was out. Every game he was getting better. Every game he was getting tougher. Down in Atlanta, I remember a play. Hardenstein made a great big major block late in that game against Atlanta. But 2 plays before that, Julius had missed the assignment, and he told Julius about it. Get out there, big fella. I got your back. And Julius was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like this, all right, next time. Well, the next time came, and Julius got out there. And when Julius got out there, the dude, jabbed, and he went by Julius. And when he went to the rim, the dude that's their backup center, I can't think of the name, young, I think he's African guy or whatever. He went baseline, he went to go dunk it, and guess who met him at the rim? Hardenstein. And when he did got that block, and the play was dead, no, we got the ball, and the dead ball, he told Julius, I told you, I got your back, big fella. And Julius gave him a pound in the chest, you know what I mean? Those are the type plays that you want, you know what I'm saying? When guys can talk to one another, you know what I'm saying? And just because I'm a bigger name than you can still tell me something, even when people don't see it, but when the time may come, that's what you call, say, getting teammate love. When somebody less on your team can tell you something and you can take heed to it, then you can turn back and give him the love and the props for what he was telling me, knowing that he got my back. I got your back too, man. But man, the team is doing great this year, man. And we're not finished, done yet. We still got some more critique and moves we got to do and everything. But right now, we are a problem. We are really a problem. I do see us going to the second round, and I got us scaring somebody in the 7th game. I think that was Murphy. Shout out to my man Murphy that just went by. If that was him. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Blessings to you all, man. Blessings to you and your families. Anybody that's going through something, we don't pray that you go through it. We also pray that you get through it, man. Much love for the chat. Y'all the greatest people it is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all deserve flowers for who you are each and every day. You know what I'm saying? Luke, I see you. That's the only Luke we know about. We don't know about Luca in Dallas. We know about Luke C. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, my brother. And everybody else rocking in the chat, man. Holding it down for CT, keeping it buzzing. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down for EJ. Each and every time they come on, man, y'all the most beautifulest people, man. Ain't no other cities, no other place, no other teams got no, you know what I'm saying, podcast love like we got in our chat. And also shout out to all the other great content creators, you know what I'm saying, that come from New York, from the football base, the baseball, even the WWE. Content creators up on the New York, they really, really doing it. You know what I'm saying? All over, man. I called out our friend earlier today, CT, Worldwide L, because he know a lot about that boxing. And I called him out. Yo, I'm challenging Worldwide L. Yo, come out with that boxing podcast, my brother. All that knowledge you got up there about boxing, man.
Facts.
We need that, man.
Yeah, we need that, man. New York Knicks community, so talented, man. Everyone out here, everyone got a story to share, man. And it's just amazing to share this with everybody. We're on a journey, of course. And yeah, man, putting in work. This team, man, no one in the starting unit played any more than 33 minutes, like you said, Boogie, to finally get a blowout victory where on the second night of a back-to-back, dudes can sit. Derrick Rose gets serenaded by the MSG crowd. They were raucous tonight. They represented. EJ and I have been talking about it. We've been getting on the MSG crowd for a minute. We need that 90s, that passion in the crowd back, that defense chant, man. We need that hostility right now.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues we have is, when I look at that 100 section, too many people on their phones. That's the big issue that I have. Like I need people who are going to the game. If you're gonna pay those, all of us are Knicks fans. I've had the pleasure of going to the Garden before, and I've had the pleasure of just soaking in the history of the Garden. The Garden is one of the most beautiful basketball arenas you could ever go to. It's an incredible, it's historic. Like whenever I go there, Like I sometimes pinch myself because I just think about how many different things have taken place at that particular garden. Obviously, there have been others, but that particular one, I think about all those shots, those big shots, especially in the 90s. Um, but I just want people who are there to really, especially for where this team might be going this season, as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. If you are sitting in the 100 section and you are blessed to have the financial means to sit in those great, great seats, I just need you to just yell a little bit. Just don't sit there looking cute. You know, you are cute. Bless you. God bless you. But for what this team might be doing this season, please, please, let's make the Garden a real, real home court advantage. I know that if you're up in the 300s, which if I get a chance to go this season, that's probably where I'm going to be. I'll probably be standing outside, you know, just trying to hear what's happening inside because that's how broke a brother is. But seriously, please, 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 let's make this a home court advantage as much as possible.
No doubt, man. I feel you with that. Yeah, because I mean the players feed off the energy and everything that's in the garden. And you said it right, man. It's so electrifying in New York inside Madison Square Garden. And I get the beauty of being a Knicks fan when I'm not in the garden. The beauty of, and you spoke about it earlier, EJ, about the fans being at other places. Man, we are so deep inside other people's arenas, that we take over the building. In Atlanta, we took over that building, took over. So, I mean, immediately took over. Yeah? I was at war with crowds, guys, and when Trey was bricking, I was doing ice cold to them and everything, and we just, you know, the fan base travels and goes along with the squad, man. Wherever they at, man. The New York Knicks fan base, they stand out. You don't see you don't see nobody else coming into Madison Square Garden from another team taking over. Now, I must admit, now I was also at that Philly game, and Philly was trying to make a lot of noise in there until we started doing what we was doing, and then they started yelling in there. They started yelling in our building, Super Bowl champions. So when we started, winning, I started talking to my section. Yo, I gave them the saying what we gonna say. Y'all gotta ride with me. Don't make me get up and start saying it. Y'all ain't riding. They was like, okay, okay. So when the time I came and it got a little quiet, stood up and started saying, "Let's go Chiefs, let's go Chiefs." So yeah, man. I mean, New York, it's fun inside Madison Square Garden, man. I get a kick out of being in there, man. It's so beautiful. I wish one thing though, and one thing I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the day where I can give my brother CT some dap. I can give him a hug, and I can watch a live game with him somewhere one day. That day is coming. With me and CT, we gonna hang out, and guess what? We gonna have that building buzzing.
It's happening. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
happening real soon, man. EJ, the chat, Nick Streets, we'll be putting on some stuff for real. Yeah, putting in work, and that's the goal. That's the goal to get down there, man. Who knows? It might even be this year in the playoffs. I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking. I'm always planning. I've been to those that don't know. I've been to 3 games at the Staples or Crypto now, but it's really the Staples to me.
Right, right, right.
Um, Two of them Clippers, two of them on the one on the Lakers. But yeah, the Clippers game you could get amazing seats for cheap.
Right.
But if I get down there, man, I might do a few games. Maybe if it's a Philly or a DC, Charlotte. I know you get out there ATL. It's amazing. But yeah, this squad, man. I don't think really like what Vegas predicted. They didn't really take into account the Jalen Brunson acquisition as hard as they could have. Other critics of this team, right? He was ready to pop, and I think he's a legit MIP candidate. Gentlemen, I'll give you a statistic. Jalen Brunson only had 3 30-point games in his whole career
Mm.
as a Dallas Maverick before this New York Knicks
Wow.
career. Only 3 in 4 years. And he's sitting on 15 right now in one season. If that ain't a surge, then I don't know. I don't
Wow.
know what is.
That's a stat. That's definitely a stat. Um, yeah, I think Vegas. I think what we're seeing as well is the perception. The reason why this season is so important is that the perception of the Knicks is changing nationally. Um, you know, I hate to go back to this, but I'm sure you guys remember when people were asking KD, why didn't you sign with the Knicks? And he said, well, the Knicks aren't cool. You
He
know,
ain't cool. He ain't. All he doing is trying to latch on to teams ready to win, man. And even then, he couldn't do it in Brooklyn.
yeah,
You know.
man. And I think the reason why this season is so important, even though we all know all of us are bright men on this chat, and the chat is wonderful. The podcast, we know that the Knicks will most likely not win a championship this year. But what they're doing, which is so incredibly important, is that they're creating a culture that is going to entice the next superstar that wants to saddle up, that wants to ride with this squad. It's creating the culture to make this an appetizing place to want to come. Um, I will never forget, that game that we won against Atlanta and how the street, Seventh Avenue, was flooded. There's something about coming to New York and having people be excited because you wanted to be here. One of my favorite Knicks, even though he never won a championship, and we can question how great of a Knick he was, but Amari Stoudemire and the fact that he wanted to be here, yes, we know the contract helped. We know the fact that no other team was going to insure that contract, but the fact he wanted to be here endeared Knicks fans to him forever. There's a reason why he gets calls back to come and appear at things at the Garden. It's because of that. What we're doing right now, what the squad is doing right now, is creating the environment that whatever the player is, whoever that player is, and all it takes is one to decide, you know what, I want to be part of that culture. And I think it's going to happen soon. And this is what's really making me feel optimistic about this particular season. It's setting the groundwork for 2023, 2024, or 2024, 2025.
Properly said. There's no other bigger championship than a New York Knicks championship. That would be the biggest parade out of any all sports because we haven't been in that position in so long, you know what I'm saying? And you would think, that guys would want to be a part of that. You would have thought that, you know what I'm saying, KD, great of a player he was and he still is when he was a free agent, I'm going to New York and I can go pick and choose whoever I want, but he chose to go over there following that guy. You know what I'm saying? And what that turned out to be, you know what I'm saying? But you coming here and winning a championship right here, that's gonna look great on somebody's resume, you know what I'm saying? We had an opportunity with Donovan, but Donovan, he didn't really help the situation out himself, You want to you wanting to come here, you been showing up at baseball games and all that. That's all fine and dandy. But you should have went in there and looked, yo, Danny, listen, I know you're here now, but I've been, loyal and respectful to the organization. We going in a different direction. Yo, send me to New York. Let me go home. You know what I'm saying? You could have voiced your opinion about it, but you never did. So you allowed, Danny to do whatever it is he want. So you wound up in Cleveland. And we looking at you like, you could have been here. But man, listen, don't let us knock you off and you over there and you ain't over here. Cause then I ain't gonna never even when you become a free agent, I'm gonna feel like I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. But with the city, man, there ain't nothing better than playing in Madison Square Garden, rocking in front of that crowd. The Garden's still on fire from last night. Nas just tore the whole building down. They say he left a mic in there, and RJ came through the building and picked it up, and that fire just got in RJ today. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, ain't nothing more hysterical than playing inside Madison Square Garden with the most loyal and respectful people it is in sports basketball. You know what I'm saying? that fan base in there, that orange and blue, man, that organ, them bright lights, you know what I'm saying? Man, it's so beautiful, man. I mean, and everybody, it feel like you when you go inside the garden, it's not a person in that building that you don't know and you ain't never seen them in your life. That's
Yeah.
love, man.
And yeah,
That's love.
gentlemen, it's getting crowded up in here. Crowded
Yeah.
for bandwagon fans about to hop on. Crowded roster.
That's
Mhm.
right.
We getting closer. We getting closer to this thing. We getting close. We
But if
getting
you're in
close,
Brooklyn,
man.
if you're in Brooklyn, don't come back. The ones that went over there, don't come
Nah,
back. You
nah.
go over there to New Jersey. Ask them,
Screaming A,
yeah, ask them to
Rappaport,
build Great Adventures back
Wax.
up.
Get out of here, man. Wax Kellerman, Screaming A, talking about Miami. We got these fake Nick fans. Get out of here, Michael Rappaport. You know, the bandwagon full. You know, we locked the doors, man. This train's express
Max
right now.
Kellerman ain't got a team no boy. He can't pull for that. He begging for the Lakers to get in something.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We were talking about who again? Max Keller. Who?
Kellerman, he's begging for the Lakers to get
I
in.
I don't I don't know who that person is because once he left the Knicks, he was no longer existed to me.
Well said, EJ. Well said.
I thought his last name was Max Killerman, so yeah. Sorry.
Y'all heard it from that's the real EJ right there. I ain't talking about Ernie Johnson. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, the streets is buzzing EJ. Y'all hear him talking, man. Talk that stuff, baby.
Yeah, this thing's
uh,
worldwide, man. Can you imagine
yeah,
the
man.
playoff tickets? It'd be the hottest ticket in town. Game
Oh yeah.
7, MSG, Celebrity Row, J-Boogie up in there, man. Um, is there any update on this My Sunshine? You know, we got some things popping in March, you know.
Right. I don't know. Well, as far as like the music thing like that right now, I do know for a fact that like when not the last game we played Atlanta, the game before that when I was in Atlanta, and I talked to Rick. I said, "Yo, Rick, I'll get ready to do a song on your son." So, he patted his chest and smiled, you know what I'm saying, gave me love, you know what I'm saying. But I felt like he was just doing that just to do that. But I told him, yo, my name is J-Boogie. I don't think you know who I am, but really, I'm really getting ready to do a song on your son. So when I finished the song, when I finished the song up on Valentine's Day, I knew the next day I was going to Atlanta that Wednesday. When I got there, I hollered at Brian. Now, Brian, yo, tell Rick I need to talk to him. Let him know you got it, you know what I'm saying, J Boogie here. I told him I got a song for him. But he was busy tuning up, getting prepared for the game, working the guys out. So that was understandable. But um I was able to meet Dunker's Delight. That's Obi Toppin's dad.
Yeah,
And took pictures and photos. He recognized me from me doing the Obi Toppin thing. And we
yep.
talked rap. He took my information. I got his information. So we've been kind of like speaking. You know what I'm saying? What he told me is that him and Obi, they're gonna put a package together for me for what I had did. And I told him, yeah, I appreciate it, man, because your son been fronting on me. He be seeing me at the game. He could take that sweaty jersey off and gave it to me. I would prefer that. But whatever you do for me, I'm happy for it. But I sent him the song and asked him could he send it to Rick. But I was kicking it with S um SP all night long on the Scott Perry, and I'm kicking it with Worldwide West. I let West get my phone. West been real helpful with me as far as trying to
Yep.
get me accomplished with the music with the New York Knicks. Put me in the right direction with the peoples who I need to be dealing with. I'm very close to really being where I want to be with them. It just hasn't happened yet. But I know that particular song, when he heard it on my phone, he took that song and told me to send it to somebody. And when I send it to that person, and he has the song. I don't know what's gonna be the outcome of it, but they really liked it, that song, Point Guards, what I'm saying, me paying homage to the gods, from the city of New York. And we ain't had guys like those now until Jalen Brunson get there. That's basically the story I'm telling in it. So the Knicks have that song right there by itself. I don't know what's going to happen, but and actually for real, I'm really trying to get an MC job with the Knicks. You know, um, that has nothing. Of course, I continue on doing records. You know what I'm saying, and putting out content, on the internet and everything. But there's a few other teams, they got MCs during the games, you know what I'm saying, where they talk and they on the mic and they talking to the
Yeah,
crowd, whatever say. I would love to do that for the
yeah,
Knicks, and also that'll give me a chance to be like in like a big brother role or something like that with the players. I know some of the players, and some of the players they do know me, and it feels good, whereas when they know who you are, you know what I'm saying, and they be like, what up with them? I can see Julius and I can say, yo, Drew, what up? He won't even say nothing because he think it's just somebody else. But he know I call him Messiah, you know what I'm saying? I call him, Julius, aka the Black Messiah, but I call him Messiah. I be like, yo, Messiah, he always turns around. Be like, he know who that is, you know what I'm saying? And man, I'm just trying to do what God has presented for me, and be honest with you, I've been in a position where, you know, they they say you only recognize and known for the last thing you done. You know what I'm saying? And you can do so much good in life, but that one wrong thing you do can eliminate all that. I did a lot of things in life, you know what I'm saying, that took me away from things I could have done and who I could have became in life. But I have changed and changed all that, from after me doing my time, my federal time, and coming home. I've been home since February 16, 2016, and I have not finished following the footsteps that, my Lord and Savior has laid out for me. I put on his shoes every day and walk the path that he leads for me. So right now, I be in a good space, and I try to make sure that I'm always encouraging somebody to let them know there's somebody out there that's in a worse situation. So why can't you take advantage of every second of your life? Because every second that you take of your life is, guess what? It's going to be better for you for the next minute. And then if you take advantage of that minute, it's going to take advantage for you of the next hour. And the hour going to lead to a great day. Anytime your eyelids is unattached, you got life, health, and strength, you are totally blessed. There's so many people that's unfortunately in this world today that, I just can't see myself looking down on myself when I know I got people that's still incarcerated because of this COVID thing still going on. They haven't been able to see or touch or hug their own people. Say talking through a glass and all that, that's nothing than me feeling and touching you, getting a hug, feeling real life. So, I just try to make sure, and I just motivate people and let them know it's always somebody doing something worse than going through something worse than what you're going, But just know that, if there's anything I can help you with as far as, giving you the stay on path, to continue on doing the right thing, because you could be doing the right thing and then something can hinder you and you could be like, yo, F it, I can't do it no more. And you can go do something. That's when you need to really continue on doing what you're doing. Because sooner or later it's gonna work. It's gonna be, what I'm saying, it's gonna be something good for you, in life. You're pursuing it, continue on sticking with it, You pray and ask for blessings and everything, but it's much harder to receive a blessing when you're outside of your position. When you're in position to receive your blessings, he makes sure he give it to you that much more, And trust me, I know it from me. I've been through a whole lot. That's why I try to share positive things with each and everybody, you know what I'm saying, that I can, Just, appreciate yourself in life, love yourself, love your loved ones, you know what I'm saying? Tell somebody you love them that you haven't said that to in a long time. Keep close to your family, and your family gonna stay close to you, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate your good friends and be around people that's prospering, doing other things in life so that goodness can rub on you and you can also want to, continue on doing good things. And when you get in position, and you're receiving good things, don't be scared or hesitant to turn back to bring somebody else, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to get through the same things what you've been through in life, So that's where J-Boogie be at in life, I'm good where I got. I'm a happily married man. I got a beautiful wife. I got a wonderful two daughters, they few years apart, but I got a wonderful family. I do it all for them. We got our own personal business, you know what I'm saying? And outside of me being who I really am to my family, I have another character role that I am, which is J Boogie. And I can't say the people love me. And guess what? I love y'all more than y'all even love me. I appreciate y'all more in life. Y'all help me get through my days each and every day. So like I said, when CT said, yo, Boogie, you come on, man. I'm there and hurry up. Sometimes you be taking EJ, you need to give me taking too long. I don't want to be another 4 months, but next time I come up here, you know what I'm saying?
We're not gonna let that happen. We're not gonna let that happen.
Nah, but that's my guy, man. Yeah, man. I just try to show love amongst all the podcasters, man. And I'm glad y'all guys keep your lights on, making it eligible for me to come in and everything. My man Hart, shout out to my man Hart Will. He trying to get me to do something with the cash, but you know, that's just not my thing. I love being where I'm at. Rotating. I love seeing other people do it because I might get choked up behind that board. It ain't easy being behind that board. Interviewing people. Speaking on subject and holding down the chat and looking up stats and all that one time. So y'all some busy people doing that what you're doing. So that's why I salute y'all guys, all y'all great content creators doing what you do, man.
Man,
Much,
man.
yeah. That's a lot of love, J Boogie. Yeah. Sorry I jumped in there, CT, but J
No,
Boogie, you're definitely an inspiration, and one of the best things to come out of this wave of Knicks content creators are stories like yours, man.
Mhm.
Like as much as we love the Knicks, at the end of the day, you know, players they rotate, players retire, players are drafted, but the one thing that bonds us all together is that all of us have a lifetime where we get to be Knicks fans and we get to see generation after generation of Knicks players. So whether your first Knicks player was, Bill Cartwright, or if your first Knicks player was Rod Strickland, or if your first Knicks player was John Starks or Patrick Ewing or Melo, or this current generation of Knicks players, we are all bonded by that love. And like, I just wanted to thank you for sharing the depths of your story. And that's what makes it so wonderful is that this is a Knicks community. And, everything that you said is inspirational, not to take each breath for granted. The fact that we all have breath and we have the opportunity to share not just our own life story, but we share a passion together for this organization, all the ups and downs. And, it takes a lot of character to be a Knicks fan. It takes a
Mhm.
lot of strength to be a Knicks fan because we didn't get that chance to win six chips like the Chicago Bulls. We didn't get a chance to, have our Kobe and Shaq and win, championships. We didn't even get a 2004 Detroit Pistons. But I really want to give you props for the character that you have and for the success that you're having. And I just want to wish you much more success. Godspeed, good luck, man. And, just thank you so much for being the man of character that you are, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you, everybody out there where y'all from, wherever you watching from, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? For you being who you are and always support not only me but all the podcasters because we do it for y'all. We do it for y'all, and we do know it's a lot of y'all that be in the chat that can be in this position doing, hosting a show yourselves. You know what I'm saying? So just giving the love back, man. It's this this is what happens when the Knicks is on. The Knicks is on, man. It just makes everything that much beautiful. But it's even more beautiful when you can get through. You know what I'm saying? The down times, the bad times, you know what I'm saying? The rocky seasons. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to be around for that. But those are the real ones right there. And I don't see CT and a whole lot of podcasts from what I'm saying, Nick Fan TV, from Freezy, from For the Love of the Game, NBK, all those networks. It's some more Divine and A Show. It's a whole lot of even CK2K out there in LA. It's so many podcasts, so many guys, man. They've been rocking in the worst time of the Knicks. So those are the real ones. Those are the real ones. You know what I'm saying? When you can come on and go live and make up something, and the team is, what I'm saying, they 8-37. You be like, what is he talking about? What is he talking? What you going like? What you telling me ain't a like button? What is it to like? Nah, it's like that. I'm telling you that soon we gonna change it. We gonna turn it around, man.
yeah, man. Tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Say
We
that
haven't won
again,
a
man.
tough times don't last. Tough people do. We New York Knicks. We keep each other up. When the team's down, that's what it's all about. We ain't no fair weather fans. I've never been a fair weather fan. Um, support the good and the bad about this thing, but the good is just the fan base. We're the best fan base in the streets, like I always say. That's the motto of the show now, because like J Boogie said, man, you see another Nick fan on the street with a cap. you dap him up. You know,
Yeah.
I'm out here down under. More people repping Knicks gear. I'm like, where was you 15 years ago? You know, I was there. People looking at me side eyed, things like that, dropping shade. Now now it's the cool thing, believe it or not. From
Yes.
CT to you guys to the chat, I'm seeing more people with Nick gear now down here, man. Even young ones.
That's right.
That that makes me feel good. Makes me feel good when I see that. I'm like, man, I started this.
Man, most definitely. Yeah. 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 All that. Yeah. We look so don't we, man, we got the prettiest colors, the beautifulest outfits. Hey, Katie, what you talking about, man? We ain't cool no more, man. Tell that to the Barclays when they open the door, man. Don't tell that to us, man. We know how we look. We look beautiful, man. But yo, before I get up off it, I'm gonna tell you, if you don't go get copyright, I'm gonna twist that line. I'm gonna use that line. You gonna hear me ad-lib that thing. Hey, yo, where all my tough people at that know how to get through tough people times, man? I'm gonna ad-lib that right there. You gonna
Yeah.
hear that or something?
Yeah, we ain't gonna
Man,
do a show without dropping some jewels. That's how
definitely.
it goes, you know. But absolute pleasure to have you on, Boogie, and
No doubt,
let's catch
baby.
up soon, man. We make this playoff push. The music's gonna be fire, and
Mhm.
the streets are gonna be buzzing, and smashing that like button. You already know.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you having me on. You and EJ, y'all continue on doing what you're doing. I'm gonna always continue on rocking and supporting, whether I'm on your show or if I'm in the chat. You know, I'm gonna do something. And everybody in the chat, keep doing what you're doing. Become the person that you are supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? You got your own dreams in front of you, pursue it. You know what I'm saying? Only dream that doesn't work is the one that you don't pursue, man. God bless and love, and everybody have a continuous, beautiful weekend. Let's go, Knicks. Good win tonight. Let's get some rest. Get ready to knock off that leprechaun come Monday. Yes, you heard. Salute, salute, salute. Three capital S's, man.
Man, man. J-Boogie.
Can't forget, man. Three capital M's, three little A's, three little N's, and the N definitely come after the K, which is the Knicks with who we love. Man. Ron Cleveland, where you at, man?
Yeah, yeah. He's come through. Ron's
Yeah,
come
yeah,
through.
yeah,
We yeah.
yeah. But no doubt, man. Y'all guys have a great weekend, man. Thanks for having me on, man. All right.
Boogie, thanks so
Peace.
much, man.
No doubt, man. Blessings to y'all, man. You have a great night, man.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bugs.
Blessings. J-Boogie in the house. Streets and the place to be. CT, EJ, the chat, spitting heavy. Salute,
Definitely.
salute, salute.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe. Let somebody know about what we're doing here at Knicks Buzz. We definitely, CT and I try to produce some quality content. Obviously, CT is the captain of the ship, and to the ability to make sure that we are producing top-notch Knicks content. And on a day where the Knicks go wire to wire and almost blow out the Pelicans by 30, they gave the Pelicans something to eat tonight, and it was it was almost a 30-point loss. Please smash that like, subscribe, let somebody know that Knicks buzz. The streets are buzzing.
Yeah, facts, right? J-Boogie putting in amazing work. Point Gods gonna upload that track, and what's next is always ahead. J-Boogie always innovating, devastating with his beats, and that's how talented he is. And yeah, Nick Streets, Nick's content creators, the best chat, best fan base. I'm just having fun, man, for this
Definitely.
season. It's been up and down, and I will say this too, EJ. Remember how we were talking about Luke's great question? Will the Knicks get the fourth seed, or will they be more likely to get 50 wins?
Yeah,
Imagine if we didn't lose some of
I
those
know.
games that we lost this year.
I
We would
know.
be, we 50 would be, that'd be a cakewalk.
Yeah,
It'd be a
definitely.
cakewalk. Yeah.
Definitely. But I think that it's the nature of the season where I think with younger players, they're learning how to play in tough games. They're learning how to close out tough games. They're learning how to not be intimidated. Part of being a younger player in this league is that when you hear Milwaukee is next up on your docket, they're next up on in terms of the schedule. Part of this game is not just physical. There's the mental side of it. There's the ability to really be calm in the moment, to be calm before you get on the court, the ability to see, at tip off, I can actually visualize myself winning this game. I think what we're seeing right now is not just the physical maturity of this squad, not just the maturity of the chemistry, but it's also the maturity of their psyche. Again, we cannot underestimate how much of a reversal that Julius Randle has had psychologically. I mean, I'm not a psychologist. What I mean by psychologically is how he views his role, how he views the game right now, how he views his ability to do what he wants his body to do. Julius Randle did not grow an inch over the course of the summer, but he grew mentally. He grew in terms of having the determination and the ability to visualize himself succeeding this year. And so we can't just get hung up on statistics. Mental health is really important. Emotional health is really important. And what we're seeing is the mental growth of a number of different players on this team. And that's why we're seeing the success manifest itself in the way that it has at this point in the season. 5 games in a row. Listen, and the dominant win tonight, really good. Really good stuff.
Man, you said it. I think we're getting stronger as the season goes. I think we've really turned a corner.
Absolutely.
Josh Hart was the right shake-up we needed because he can play with the bench and he can play with the starters. And
Yep.
guys like Deuce and Grimes have welcomed him in as well as everybody. But those whose minutes he's taken more of. And it's lit a fire under RJ. I feel, I think he used this All-Star break to put in some work. RJ, I like these last 2 games, especially tonight. I mean, RJ Barrett, great performance, 8 of 13, under 30 minutes, 4 of 7 from deep, 5 of 5 from the line, 4
Yeah.
rebounds, got those assists up, which I've been talking to RJ about, 7 assists, plus 23, 25 points.
Yeah. The efficiency, I think one of the things that will make us really have more confidence in RJ is just efficient games. It's funny because as I was watching the game, I didn't realize that RJ was having the kind of game that he was having. It was a sneaky, efficient game.
Yeah.
And it's not until you look at the box score, you're like, wait, this is the game that RJ had. And it's because it was such an efficient, and efficient is not just the only word I'm looking for. I'm looking for another word. The other word I guess I'm looking for is he was incorporated into the flow of the offense more than he has been recently. At times, one of our frustrations, my frustration with RJ is that it seems as if he seems to be really decisive of what he wants to do, and there's been little ability to decide to improv or to have improvisation be part of what he comes into with the game. But in the last few games, that one lob to Mitch, where Mitch reached back, and that slam, my gosh, if that were in the dunk contest, Matt McClung would have had some competition. But it's those kind of plays where all of a sudden it's like I feel less concerned about, RJ. And that's why I keep on talking about the mental aspect of the game. That's a mental thing to think, okay, I'm as good taking 13 shots as I am taking 20 shots. That to me is that's a step you want RJ to take, where he can say I can take 13 or 14 shots and be okay with it if I'm hitting 50 to 60% of those shots.
Yeah, exactly, man. And ball movements picked up too. That was one of the, I think, if we had to pick a biggest Knicks gripe throughout the season so far, it got to a point where, when we were losing, it was ball movement, and finishing out the game, capitulating, not finishing out games because the ball wasn't moving.
Yeah.
You talk about an instance tonight where RJ can get 7 3-point attempts. A lot of them were nice catch and shoots where the ball was getting swung. New Orleans Pelicans, we just absolutely cut their defense open tonight. Yep. They like you said, they actually look like they gave up, like that, like their soul was snatched out.
Yeah, it's like Mortal Kombat from back in the day, like you just Scorpion, just get over here, and you see that, and that's where like I think a lot of us sometimes get hung up on like the quantifiable metrics, like the stuff that you can see a basket go into a ball. You can see a ball go into a basket, and you're like, "Wait, I see 2 points, I see 3 points." But guys, if and when you rewatch the game, I'm telling you, second quarter, it's like 7 or 8 minutes into the second quarter, you see the moment where many of the New Orleans Pelicans players they gave up, they were checked out, and that says a lot about the opposing team. That says a lot about the Knicks tonight, where you had the opportunity to beat the will out of the Pelicans. That's what you want to do with those kind of teams. Those kind of teams where, a Detroit, you don't want Detroit like hanging around. You don't want Detroit and certain players having like, the games of their lives against you. You don't want Orlando, players having, Markelle Fultz deciding like, okay, I'm going to play like a number one draft pick tonight. No, you want to beat the will out of them. You want to beat the optimism out of them, so that when it comes to playing Boston, when it comes to playing Milwaukee, when it comes to playing the 76ers, you understand, okay, we did what we had to do against Orlando. We did what we had to do against, Detroit. Okay, now we have to shift gears. You don't want every contest to be this, it's going to come down to 2 points. And that's what was
No.
so impressive about tonight.
Yeah, and home record gets a nice boost.
Yep.
Knicks are now 17-15 at home, and impressive thing is the Pels only got one quarter where they scored 30. Every other
Yeah.
quarter, first, second, and fourth was under 30. So we're no longer like, even though they are a West Coast team, that we're not allowing teams to get points up on us. Mitchell Robinson's 2 games back is just like he didn't miss any time.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
that our defense can be special with Josh Hart, Grimes, Quickly's D tonight. Did you see that play where Quickly smothered
Oh,
that
yeah.
dude in the corner? Was it
Oh, yeah.
Kendrick? I think it was
Yeah.
Kendrick.
Yeah. He's done that a few times the last couple of games, and that's like that ode to the '90s kind of Knicks. Like, I don't know if any of you guys in the chat remember this, but back in the day, in the '90s Knicks, I forget what company it was, but there used to be a promotion if the Knicks could hold a team under 90 points, people got like I think a free cheeseburger or a free like chicken, like that was because the calling card of Riley's and then Van Gundy's Knicks was, we are going to smother this ball. You
Yeah,
saw that tonight. You saw that to some extent last night. And that to me, and any good analyst in basketball, you always heard them say that, sometimes your shot may not be falling, but your defense definitely travels. Your defense, you can definitely play defense every single night. And if that is what we're turning into, then again, some other teams need to be really, really scared about what the Knicks might present in the playoffs. And just one other quick note to CT.
yep,
Doesn't it feel like we're no longer talking about if the Knicks can make the playoffs? It feels as if we're saying when the Knicks make the playoffs. And
yes,
that to me is another milestone. We can't take that lightly. When we started the season, a lot of us were like, if the Knicks make the playoffs, or if they make the play-in, or when they make the play-in. Now, we're not Milwaukee, we're not Boston. We may not be, the 76ers. But in terms of that next tier of teams in the East, we're clearly there. And I would say after us, it's a crapshoot of all those other teams.
yeah, because it ain't how you start, EJ,
Yeah.
chat. It's how you finish. And I don't want to beat my own drum, but I said at the start of the season the
You did.
Knicks would finish hot. I said, whatever happens, we'll finish the season better than where we started. And this could be a huge sweep of a season in terms of like we might get All Star. A dude like Brunson or Quickly might get an individual award. We might get Julius or Brunson in an All NBA team. We might have Mitchell Robinson probably an All Defensive team. I don't know if the coach might win something, but in terms of individual and team awards, I think this could be a very successful season. We've got the draft, a big draft coming up. We've got a big draft guest coming up in the
Yep.
next week or so. So still look forward to talking about the summer and the off season. But for right now, man, it's all eyes on the playoffs.
Yeah, man. Playoffs are going to be really exciting. It'll be very exciting. And again, um, I think one of the things we're probably going to have more conversations about, and I know I'll be paying more and more attention to them, is what's happening with Cleveland because most likely the way things are panning out, Cleveland is the team to watch because not only for seeding, but in terms of they might most likely be the team we play in the playoffs if it's going to be a 4-5 matchup. And
Yeah,
so we have to really check out to see what's happening with Cleveland. Like I mentioned last night on last night's show, a number of recent sports call radio hosts were talking about they had now started receiving negative calls with regards to Donovan Mitchell. And that's concerning, for not for us, but for Cleveland, because that means that there might be some dissension, there might be some apathy in terms of the fan base, there might be some animosity in terms of the fan base. Um, that's a entry point to in terms of your enemy. So if we're gonna be playing Cleveland, and all of a sudden there are sports talk hosts who are receiving phone calls and they're saying that they're not fans of Donovan Mitchell, that's great because that means that that team will less likely pay for one another and it'll make it an easier time for the New York Knicks to handle the
mm,
Cleveland Cavaliers.
yeah. I love what you just said because yeah, it looks like the Cavs, but I love that matchup, and I'll tell you why specifically. I like, um, the difference making prediction with the Cavs was going to be Mobley and Allen,
Hmm.
two nice big men. But the way our big men are playing with
Yes.
Mitch, the way Hartenstein's been playing, we can neutralize those guys. And then you're talking about it's a battle between Spider, Garland versus Julius and Brunson, and it's a great balanced matchup between us and them. And then I back our role players better than their role players all day, every
Yeah.
day. When you're talking about a Hart, a Quickly, a Grimes, a Barrett, the list goes on. Toppin ability to score off the bench. I mean, we could really be in deep in a series with them.
And what's funny is that it will go, the symmetry of playing Cleveland, particularly after the Donovan Mitchell drama of the summer. And even, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you remember my comment about the cost being different
Mm.
for both teams. Wouldn't it be ironic if Cleveland sacrificed a number of their rotational pieces to only lose a potential playoff matchup to the team that pretty much everyone is sure that Donovan Mitchell actually wanted to go to? So that would be the ultimate narrative irony if that were to occur. Be really fascinating. Only in the NBA.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And how do you feel about deep in games now in terms of like remember zone was given the Knicks issues?
Hmm.
We're seeing a few different changes. I'm noticing us blitz or trap the ball handler a bit more. Hartenstein's been pretty good at pretty mobile at that. I like our switching. Our switching
Yeah,
seems more
yeah,
cohesive.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was apparent tonight. There were a couple of plays where you felt as if someone was going to get beaten off the dribble, but there's a switch that took place, and that second man who rotated to the ball, it felt more like there was cohesion in the defensive schemes. So I think that's part and parcel as to why we see this 5 game winning streak. I think earlier in the season, what was it, 7 or 8 game winning streak?
Mm.
There were, you know, there were people who poo-pooed that winning streak because we were catching certain teams at certain times with certain players not playing. This 5 game winning streak is different because this is defense. This is, Julius playing incredibly well. This was Jalen Brunson playing incredibly well prior to the All Star break. Um, so this team is rounding more into form. So yeah, I like what's been happening. This is a really really positive podcast tonight. This is a celebration. This is a celebratory podcast tonight. This is for me, I think this is a watershed moment for the team. because I really do believe that this is the opportunity for us to create some separation between the second tier of the NBA's Eastern Conference and the rest of the conference. At this point, I know it's early to predict this. I don't foresee the Nets making that much noise. I could be wrong, but after the Nets, the 6 through 10 position, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we ain't even looking down. I'm not looking at the
Yeah,
Heat. I'm looking
yeah,
down on them, looking down on the Hawks,
yeah,
who fired their coach, and they're probably gonna pick up their play because that's what happens when you fire a coach usually. But we'd have to capitulate to go below them. But 5 game winning streak, EJ, chat, you tell me, do we have a chance to get our highest winning streak for the season? I think it was at 8.
8.
We're 5 now. If we beat Boston, then certainly Brooklyn and the Heat could tie 8, and then Boston again, which are going to be tough.
Yeah.
But the way we're playing, man, we just blew out a team that's like 8th in the West. I know they didn't have Zion, but I mean, we had a 32-point lead tonight, and we're on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the way, I think I've asked this question before. At what point are we going to have the Zion conversation?
I'm ready to have it now. Nah.
Yeah. No, but
he's more a star name, box office name than output, I think, right now.
Yeah, we have to have that. Like, I mean, and when I say we, I mean the NBA, and people who do what we're doing.
Yeah.
There has to be this conversation about Zion. I mean, this is now the 4th season, extended stretch of injuries, not playing. And an entire roster built upon Zion and some really notable names. So it's kind of fascinating, and that's why I'm talking about, like, building an organization the right way, choosing the right players. Again, very fascinating. But nevertheless, yeah, I do. I don't know. I'm hopeful that we show up against Boston. It'll be an interesting game to watch. That's what I'll say. It'll be interesting, very interesting game to watch.
Yeah, we can hang with Boston, I feel. I think Josh Hart changes a lot of things because he adds that extra depth. Truth, what I was seeing all season, we were competing against the top teams, but when you sat Randle and Brunson, the bench just couldn't keep up, or lost the lead, or something happened.
Yeah.
When you bring in Quickly and Hartenstein, Barrett playing with the bench, Grimes can play with the bench as well. It's like you're getting 48 minutes of starting caliber play.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. Quickly could start on an NBA team right now. Hart could start on an NBA team right now. Barrett starts on an NBA team. Toppin, I feel, could start on an NBA team. Hartenstein can fill in and be a starting big man the way he's playing. It's like, yeah, we got a really nice 9-man rotation now. And I think it's just going to keep dudes hungry because Sims has missed out on minutes and McBride's missed out on minutes and they've been playing well. It's not like they lost their spot due to bad play. Those guys were actually balling when their minutes got taken.
Yeah, and let's not forget Evan Fournier. I think on the right team, Evan Fournier would be a starter. It's just that we obviously know his defensive abilities for this particular roster, for the way that it's constructed, and left a lot to be desired. But let's not forget 62 games ago, he was our starting. He was one of our starting 5.
Facts.
So I think the fact that the roster has kind of formed and we do have a healthy Mitch back. We can't undersell how having a healthy Mitch is a game changer. Having a healthy Mitch for the game against Boston will really be very important. It gives me a lot more confidence. I think teams are really, really, they should be concerned, particularly if we do get by a potential matchup in Cleveland and get to the second round. We may not win, but we're definitely going to make a team exhaust a lot of its energy.
Yeah. And after tonight, I'm sold on keeping Derrick Rose. Just keep him. He's a nice mascot, a nice mentor for this team. If he would like to stay,
Yeah,
Fournier is a good locker room dude too, and he's just
yeah.
happy to have not have been traded because his wife, I think, just gave birth, and he's only been in the city less than a year. So, I think there's good harmony, good chemistry. But a question I got for you is like, we signed Trevor Keels. What would you do with this last roster spot? Would you wait up until close to the playoffs, see if there's an injury, and see who's in the buyout situation? Anyone stand out to you?
No, I would probably leave it as I would leave it be, because I know that we had a quick conversation yesterday about Melo. I think that D Rose unexpectedly, I know because he was my X factor for this season. I think D Rose serves the role that a Melo would serve because I know that's the name a lot of Knicks fans would naturally gravitate towards. Um, I think like Josh Hart, that particular trade, he's going to eat up a lot of minutes in a number of different roles. So even if you're talking about the wing position, you do have a number of possibilities in terms of Josh Hart and rotation spots. Likewise, for a playoff push, I want IQ playing as many minutes as possible.
Mm.
So when it comes to, one positions 1 through 3, they're seemingly covered. Now, obviously, you can talk about the 4 spot, but let's just be honest. When it comes to
Mm.
the playoffs, Julius is going to play as many minutes as Tom Thibodeau can get him to play, short of like wheeling him out there. Um, he's going to play as many minutes as possible, and then you know you have Mitch, you have Hartenstein, and then you have Sims. So I don't know if it's necessary to sign yet another player who would just probably just be sitting on the bench, even if they were even if there were an injury.
Yeah, exactly. I think the trade deadline came and we only really made one move. We probably needed to trade and open up more spots for that to make more sense, I think.
Yeah,
Um, like, because there are some dudes, Stanley Johnson's a taller wing that gives us size. But I guess Josh Hart can play bigger than what he is.
yeah,
6'5", 6'4", 6'5". But yeah, the way he checked Ingram on a few possessions, and he just makes it tough. He can strip you, quick hands. He could run the break. He could dribble, and that's why we're doing better in fast break points because
yeah.
quickly and hard. I saw how fast they tried to race up the court. It was just great to see.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about Stanley Johnson. I think part of what we've seen, and I was thinking the same thing about Josh Hart, is those plays where he was covering Brandon Ingram, and like I
Hmm.
think Clyde mentioned like how tall is Brandon Ingram, and what was he like 6'9", 6'10", and his
Yeah.
ability, the ability for Josh Hart to confidently, defend Brandon Ingram says as much as it needs to say about the need for this particular playoff run to sign another player for the playoff push.
Yep, definitely, man. It's been a great show. Chat on fire all night. J-Boogie, the one, the only. EJ, Spittin' Jules. Um, Fun show, man. Let's talk about quickly this road ahead, this streak, with Boston, Brooklyn, Heat, Boston, and then Charlotte, Sac, and then LA, West Coast trip. Um, yeah, do you think we could get close to 50?
I think this is the stretch that will determine it. Boston, having to play Boston a couple of more times, a West Coast trip. We can't sleep on Sacramento. Shouldn't definitely do that.
Hmm.
Going to LA. Um, this will be a test. As much as we're celebrating tonight, I think that with the exception of a Miami, with the exception of playing the Nets, um, this is going to be somewhat of a test. But if the Knicks win 50, listen, my prediction was we were going to go 42 and 40. So to go over by 8 games, if we were to go over by 6 games, I'd be ecstatic. And let's not forget, some of the games that we needed to get shouldn't be from now. They should have been from earlier in the season. So, and truth be told, the Knicks have done, some major things on road trips as well. So I'm cautiously optimistic in terms of the next 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, yep. Looks like 6 seed, kind of close to being shored up. My prediction was 45, and I do think that's still a great season, but we're looking more than that. But yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. This stretch is going to tell us a lot with the 2 Boston games.
Yeah.
The Heat are going to throw everything at us. They're going to throw the kitchen sink
Yep.
at that situation with Jimmy Butler, Bam, because they're still trying to say, hey, we're still around. We're still the Heat.
Hmm.
Sort of an Achilles or maybe a little hurdle for us to clear before we announce that we're real.
Yeah.
To put the beat down on the Heat would be a nice statement. And then, yeah, like Luke, Will saying in the chat, the Sacktown game is going to be tough. LA and Kawhi, PG, we almost beat them with that Nick Batum backbreaker at MSG. We owe them one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. But
That hurt.
yeah, get ready to wrap this baby up. What a fun show. We had the one, the only J-Boogie with his new hit Point Gods out, doing big things, inspiration to Knicks Nation. And I can't wait to hear what's next for Boogie as this season hots up. We've got CTEJ, the streets are buzzing, smashing that like button. We've got a guest next week, a draft guru. You'll know who he is. Look forward to chopping up March Madness. And who might the Knicks be looking at, EJ? It's going to be fun. And let's get it on the next one, EJ.
Take care, everyone. Peace.
Peace.